and how come somebody has decided to do that. We'll discuss that episode today. And before getting into that, I'll do a small prayer and then we will start our Ramayana Harikatha. Kujantam Rama Rameti Maduram Maduraksharam Arusya Kavita Shakham Vande Valmiki Kokilam Valmiki Munisimhasya Kavita Vanacharina Shunvan Ramakatanaram Kaunayat Rangatim Yat Pipam Sadatam Rama Charitamrita Sagaram Adruptastam Rim Vande Prajeta Samakalmasham Goshpadi Kritavarasam Masati Kritarakshasam Ramayana Mahamala Ratnam Vande Anilatmajam Anjananandanam Veeram Janaki Sotanashanam Kapi Samakshahantaram Vande Lanka Bhayankaram Amishikritamaartandam Goshpadi Kritasagaram Trinikrita Dasagrivam Anjaneyam Namamyaham Ullangya Sindhostalilasthaliram Yasokavahnim Janakatmajayaha Adaya Teneva Tadaha Lankam Namamitam Pranjaliranjaneyam Anjaneyam Atipadalanam Kanchanadri Kamaniya Vigraham Parijatatarmulavasinam Bhavayami Paumananandanam Yatra Yatra Raghunatha Kirtanam Tatra Tatra Gadamastat Anjalim Bhashpavari Garburnalocanam Marutim Namadarakshasantakam Manojamam Marutulya Vegam Jitendriyam Buddhimatam Varishtam Vatatmajam Vanarayudhamukyam Sriramadutam Sirasanamami Yah Karnanjali Samputaihi Harasam Viktipatyadarat Valmiki Ramayana Ramayanakhyam Madhu Janma Vyadi Jara Vipatti Maranaihi Atyanta Sopadravam Samsara Sarvihaya Gachati Bhuman Vishnor Palam Syasvatam Tadupakata Samasa Sandhiyogam Samamaduropanadardha Vakya Vaddham Raghuvara Charitam Munipranitam Dasa Sirasasya Vadam Nishamayatvam Valmiki Sambhutanam Ramasagaragami Punat Bhuvanam Punyat Ramayana Mahanadi Slokasara Samakirnam Sarga Kallola Sankulam Kanda Grahya Mahavinam Vande Ramayanavam Veda Vede Paripumsi Jati Dasaratmatmajam Vedaha Pracheta Sadasi Sakshat Ramayanatmana Vaidehi Saitam Surudramutale Haime Mahamandape Madhye Pushpakamasane Manivaye Virasane Sustitam Agre Vacheti Prapanjanaste Tattvam Munibhyaparam Vakyantam Bharatali Parivritam Ramam Bhajesyamaram Vame Bhumisita Puruscha Hanuman Pascha Sumitra Sutta Setubhyo Bharatascha Pashwadalayoho Vaivyadi Kuvaneshucha Sugriwascha Vibhishanascha Yuvarat Tarasto Jambavan Madhye Nila Saroja Komala Ruchim Ramam Bhajesyamaram Mata Ramo Matpita Ramo Brata Ramo Matsaka Ragaveshaha Sarvasamne Ramachandro Dayalu Nanyadevam Naivajane Najane Sakete Saradindu Kundadavade Saude Mahamandape Paryasta Agardhupadi Palalite Karpura Dipojvale Megasyamam Mahabhavam Sthirasatvam Jadavratam Kada Drakshamahe Ramam Jagata Sokanashanam Jayatyathipalo Ramo Lakshmanascha Mahabalaha Raja Jay Sugriva Raghavena Vipalitaha Dasoham Kosalendrasya Ramasya Klishta Karmanaha Hanuman Shatru Sainyanam Nihantam Marudatmajaha Naravan Sahasram Me Yuddhe Kritibalam Bhave Shilavistu Prahattar Padapaistya Sahasrasaha Adhaitvam Purim Lankam Abhivadhyasya Maidalim Samridabdo Gavishyami Vishatam Sarvarakshasam Dharmatma Satyasandasya Ramo Dasaridriyati Paurushecha Apratidvandvaha Sarayena Jahi Ravani Namam Vishnupadaya Krishnapreshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nityaname Namaste Saraswate Devadauravani Pracharine Nirvisesh Shunyavadi Paschyata Destarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Tapaswadhyaya Nirtam Tapasvim Vagvidambaram Narada Parivaptacha Valmiki Munibungavam Om Ramaya Namaha Hare Krishna. We see so many newcomers today, so we'll just give a brief introduction of what we're doing. Ramayana is the story of Prince Ramachandra. He ruled this planet Earth a long time ago. For those of you who are not aware about the Hindu timelines or the timelines described in the Bhagavatam or in the Vedic tradition, we'll give an introduction to you when Ramayana has happened. The scriptures of India say that the earth was created a long time ago. And the creation goes in cycles. It did not happen all of a sudden and then it's continuing so far. They say that it happens in cycles. So how these cycles go, we'll see. Brahma, who is the creator of the universe, he is not God, he is just the creator of the universe. When he creates the universe, in the morning, when he wakes up in the morning, he creates the universe. And when he sleeps, when he goes back to the bed, he destroys the universe. Again, the next day when he wakes up, he creates the universe. So this Brahma lives for 100 years. 100 years, in his 100 years, he has 360 days in each year. And one day of Brahma has two parts, day and night. In the daytime is divided into 14 manvantaras. Each manvantara has 72 mahayugas. One mahayuga has 4 yugas, Kali Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, Treta Yuga and Krita Yuga, of which Kali Yuga is it is the smallest division. One Kali Yuga has 432,000 years. Dwapara Yuga is twice of Kali Yuga, which is 864,000 years. And Treta Yuga is thrice of Kali Yuga. And Krita Yuga or Satya Yuga is 4 times that of Kali Yuga. So one Mahayuga lasts for 4.3 million years. And there are 72 such Mahayugas in one Manvantara. And there are 14 such Manvantaras in one day of Brahma. Like, if the day of Brahma is divided into, day and night, the day part has, just the day contains 14 such Manvantaras. So that is around 4.3 billion years. So half a day of Brahma lasts for 4.3 billion years and the night time lasts for 4.3 billion years. Like that, he has 360 days, such days in 1 year, and he lives for 100 such years, and of which 50 years of the present Brahma has passed away. So these Brahmas is also as a position. It will be occupied by different Brahmas at different times. So our scriptures say that at the present Brahma, Adya Brahma, who is the present Brahma, he has already passed 50 of his years, and this is his 51st year, Dvitiya Parabdha. And in his 51st year, he is in the second day. The first day has already been passed, like 4.3 billion years of his daytime and 4.3 billion years of his night time of the first day has been already gone. This is the second day in which we are living. And in that second day, we are in the middle noon, at his noon time, because 7 manvantaras have already passed now. This is actually the 7th manvantara. And in that manvantara, as we talked about, there are 72 Mahayugas, of which 27 Mahayugas have already passed. We are in the 28th Mahayuga. And in that 28th Mahayuga, Satyuga is past, Treta Yuga is past, Dwapara Yuga is already past. We are in the beginning of Kali Yuga, which is we just passed 5,000 years in the Kali Yuga. But this Prince Lord Ramachandra we are talking, he appeared in Treta Yuga, which is a long time back, in the 24th Mahayuga. That's what the Hindu scriptures say. Our scriptures talk. The sages who have seen into the divine, they have documented all these things. So, we are talking about the story of this Ramachandra, of Lord Ramachandra, who appeared in Treta Yuga, which is a long time ago. He was born, and then he grew up, and he killed many demons, who were troubling the sages of that time. And after that, because of the boon that was asked by his mother from his father that he has to be sent to exile, he was sent to exile. The reasons we discussed earlier, for those of you who have not attended, if you have questions, you can ask me later, I will tell you. So because of such boons, he was exiled to the forest, and he has gone to the forest. He was exiled to the forest by his stepmother because she wanted her son to become the king. So, and then after Prince Ramachandra's departure, his father, out of agony and out of separation from his dear son, he also gave up his life. And his brother Bharata, he was called, because he was living in another kingdom at that time, at his maternal uncle's place, he was called and he was asked to take up the kingdom. Your father has given a promise to your mother, you are supposed to take this kingdom. Your brother has been exiled to the forest. But that Prince Bharata is noble. He refused to take the kingdom. He said, my brother is my father and he should rule this kingdom, not me. He is the only one eligible to rule this kingdom. So saying, Bharata, he built a highway from the city of Ayodhya to the place where his brother was staying, Ramachandra was staying, which is Chitrakuta, near Dandakaranya. On the banks of river Mandakini, there is a mountain called Chitrakuta in India. There Ramachandra was living, Lord Rama was living. And Bharata, he built a highway up to there. And then last week we discussed how he made all the people of Ayodhya travel to this place where Lord Ramachandra was staying. They all travelled on that highway. They came to the place called Ganga River. How many of you know Ganga River here? River Ganges. Yeah. For those of you who want to know some geography, in India there are several rivers, of which the Ganga, in English, it's called River Ganges. It's the mightiest of all rivers in India, perennial river. There's always water in it. So near that river, Bharata has arrived with all his retinue, with all his kith and kin, his preceptors, the sages, and the people of Ayodhya. They all travelled up to Ganga. They reached a village or a kingdom called Sringaverapura. In that Sringaverapura, Guha, a Nishada tribe, a tribal king, used to rule that area. He came and greeted Bharata. Sumantra, who was the minister of Bharata, told Bharata that this Guha, the tribal king, is the friend of your brother Ramachandra. He has noble intentions towards your brother. Please welcome him. Then Bharata duly welcomed the tribal king. He embraced him and asked the well-being of the Nishada king Guha. Then Guha replied, my dear Bharata, I hope all your kingdom is well. Please take this food that I have brought with me. And he has brought all kinds of food. The food that can be sipped, that can be, that's juicy, that's liquid, that's solid, all kinds of food he has bought. And he asked to take. And Bharata refused. He took the food, but he did not eat it. And then Guha asked this question, I hope you do not have malicious intentions towards your brother Ramachandra, who is living on Chitrakuta mountain. After being exiled, he doesn't have an army now, he is all alone. I hope you are not here to attack him. Then Bharata replied, my dear Guha, you have expressed such a doubt that should not come in anybody's mind at any time. I am not here to harm my brother. My brother is my father. He is like my friend, philosopher, guide, and everything to me. So for my brother Ramachandra, I have come here to fetch him and take him back to Ayodhya and make him rule the kingdom. I am not here to fight with him. When Bharata said that, Guha was really happy. He said, in that case, my dear friend Bharata, tomorrow I will help you cross the river Ganga with all the boats that I have. He promised Bharata. And that night in the tent, when Guha and Bharata were conversing, Guha brought up the point that last time when your brother Ramachandra and Lakshmana came here, we are talking the story of the Prince Lord Ramachandra, who is right there on the altar, on the right hand, on the rightmost side. He and his family, Rama is in the center, and his wife Sita is onto his left here. She is on the left, and Lakshmana is onto his right, and Hanuman, his servant, is bowing down. So now here we only see Ramachandra, his wife and his brother, but he has two more brothers, Bharata and Shatrughna. Bharata, about whom we are talking right now, he is the one who came here to fetch Ramachandra back. So, along with Rama, when he was exiled to the forest, his brother Lakshmana and his wife followed him. So they are all staying in Chitrakuta. Now Bharata has come. So Guha, the tribal king, is talking to Bharata about this brother Lakshmana, who is standing to the right side of Rama. Guha is telling that, my dear Bharata, Lakshmana, on that night when Ramachandra came here, he made a bed of kusa grass. Here, near this ingudi tree, he stood. He made a bed of kusa grass. Kusa grass is a kind of grass available in India, which is sharp-pointed, tall grass that grows near the rivers. It is considered very auspicious. So, with that kusa grass, he made a bed and with leaves. And Ramachandra and his wife Sita slept on the bed. And while they were sleeping, Lakshmana carried a bow and two quivers that were tied to his back, full of fiery arrows. With those things, Lakshmana guarded his brother Rama while he was sleeping. And I went to Lakshmana and told him, my dear Lakshmana, I will guard Ramachandra. I have an army. I have a fourfold army, and we can defeat any kind of army on this planet. We will guard your brother, but you please take rest. But Lakshmana promptly replied that I am not interested in taking rest while my brother Ramachandra is sleeping on the floor. My brother, who is an emperor, who should be woken up by the panegyrists and the singers and bards in the palace, is now sleeping on this bed of kusa grass without any of such comforts. So Lakshmana denied my service and he guarded all night while his brother Ramachandra was sleeping. Like that, Guha explained that night what has happened between Lakshmana, Rama and himself. And while they were talking like that, the evening hours came and it was almost night. So they decided to sleep that night in the temporary cottages that they built on the banks of river Ganga. So they slept that night. Bharata and Shatrughna, they slept that night in the tent, in that temporary cottage. And early morning, Bharata woke up and he woke up Shatrughna also. Shatrughna, my dear brother, it is time that we go and fetch our dear brother Lord Ramachandra. Get up. When he tried to wake up Shatrughna told to Bharata that, my dear brother, I am not sleeping at all. All night I have been thinking about our brother Rama. When will I see him? This was my intention. I am just waiting for you to wake up. Actually, it is said in Valmiki Ramayana that even Bharata was in Dhyana Nidra. That means he was meditating upon Rama when he was sleeping. When they both wake up, they went to the Ganga river, they sipped water, and Bharata offered his oblations to his departed father Dasarada in the river. It is a custom in India that when your ancestors, or your father or your elders, when they pass away, they go and perform certain rites, funeral rites in the river, such as offering water to them. So Bharata offered water to his father Dasarada. And then he asked Guha, my dear Guha, I want to go to the hermitage of Bharadwaja. Bharadwaja is a sage who is living near Chitrakuta. When they cross Ganga, in that region, Bharadwaja's ashrama is located, hermitage is located. So when Bharata asked Guha to show him the hermitage of Bharadwaja, Guha replied, yeah, Bharata, we will help you to cross the river. But come here, I will show you this ingudi tree. I don't know what's the scientific name of ingudi tree, but near this ingudi tree, your brother Rama and your mother Sita, wife of Ramachandra, they both slept here. Lakshmana has prepared a bed of kusa grass underneath this tree. So when Bharata looked at that bed of grass, he saw what a fate has befallen on my brother Ramachandra. I think it is time alone that can kill you and nothing else. Otherwise, how come I am still alive after knowing that my brother has slept on this bed of kusa grass? How come time alone is powerful than any kind of god? Otherwise, how can that time has made my emperor brother Rama to sleep on this bed of kusa grass? I see this bed which is trampled by the limbs of my brother on one side when he is trying to adjust himself on the bed. So this is the place where my brother Rama has slept. And I can clearly see that Sita has slept on the other side because the golden ornaments that she wore, the gold fragments from those ornaments are still entangled in this grass, and the golden threads from the silk saree that she wore are still strangled in this bed of kusa grass. I can see that. So saying, Bharata wept there, imagining the condition of his brother. And later on he was a little pacified by Guha and Sumantra and other sages, and they lifted him. And then Guha ordered his kinsmen to fetch 500 excellent boats so that Bharata and his army can be crossed onto the other side of the banks of river Ganga, river Ganges. When Guha ordered thus, all his kinsmen, they went and fetched excellent boats which are decorated with various kinds of flowers, different kinds of designs and ornaments, and they had huge bells with different shapes engraved on them. And when such boats arrived, and one of such excellent boats with a huge, cloth, what do you call it? I forgot. Sail, which a huge sail with a white cloth. That sail was made of white cloth and it was flapping because of the wind, and it looked as if a huge elephant was flying with wings. It appeared like that. Such a boat was brought there. And even before Bharata got onto the boat, all the sages, Vasishtha, Vamadeva, Jabali, Kashyapa, Suyagnya, Markandeyu, and the ministers, Rashtravardhana, Akopa, Jayanta, Dhriti, they all got onto the boat. And even his mothers, Kausalya, Sumitra, and Kaikeyi, all the queens, they all got onto the boats. And similarly, Bharata came here with a huge army, which consisted of 9,000 elephants and 60,000 chariots, and thousands and thousands of foot soldiers. So all of those people, they tried to get onto those boats, and some of the elephants were ferried on the flat boats. I don't know what you call them, but
it's called
barge. Yeah, some barges, and all those elephants got onto them. And some of the elephants, they swam across in the water itself. All the mahouts who were sitting on the elephants carrying the flags of Ayodhya kingdom, which bore the symbol of the Kovidara tree or the pomegranate tree, they all got up on the elephants, and those flags were flapping because of the wind, and they were pushing the elephants to cross the river. And some soldiers, they swam the river Ganges, holding a water pot in their hands, like just as a floating device. They used that clay pots, and then they swam across the river. Some of them swam with their hands. Whoever are confident in swimming, so they swam with their hands across the river. Like that, Guha and his men ferried the huge entourage of Bharata and his retinue across the river Ganga. And when they reached onto the other side, Bharata, along with his retinue, they got down, and then they reached a place called Prayaga. Near that Prayaga, Bharadwaja Asrama was located in that region. Bharadwaja. It says Bharadwaja is very renowned for his wisdom. How many of you know Vedas here? Have studied about? You are in which subject? Comparative religion. Yeah. The Vedas are considered to be the most ancient texts. So when Bharadwaja, he read these Vedas, when he read the Vedas, he couldn't finish them. So he prayed to the demigods, and then Indra came, and he asked the demigods that, I want 300 more years to complete learning these Vedas. Then the demigods replied to Bharadwaja that, my dear Bharadwaja, how much of the Vedas do you think have you mastered? And Bharadwaja was in question, I don't know how much have I mastered. Then they showed a huge mountain in front of him. If that mountain represents Vedas, then the knowledge that you have acquired from them right now is a fistful of mud here. So vast are the Vedas, you can never master them. So then Bharadwaja gave up the idea of learning the entire Vedas. But Bharadwaja was renowned for learning a vast extent of Vedas, but even his learning was a fistful of that vast mountain of Vedas, Vedic knowledge. So when Bharadwaja was told this, he abandoned that idea. But so great was Bharadwaja's wisdom and scholarly prowess, when he knew that Bharata and his retinue arrived at the hermitage of this Bharadwaja, of that great sage. And Bharata told to his retinue that I don't want you to go to the hermitage, because with all this army, with all these elephants and horses and foot soldiers, I don't want to trample all the trees and pollute the water in that hermitage. So I want you to stay here. I will go myself, and along with me will go Vasishtha and my preceptor Dhriti. Bharata's preceptor was Dhriti. So we will go and we will talk to Bharadwaja sage about the whereabouts of Ramachandra, and we will come back. So when Bharata stationed his army a little distance away from the hermitage of Bharadwaja. Then when Bharata reached the hermitage of Bharadwaja, Bharadwaja came outside. He welcomed Bharata and Vasishtha and all the preceptors. First he gave water as a customary invitation. First he gave them water, and then he gave them water to wash their hands and limbs, and then he offered water to drink, and then he fetched fruits and honey that was grown in that hermitage and gave it to Bharata. Valmiki vividly describes here how Bharata saw the hermitage of Bharadwaja. When he was going in that forest, he saw from a distance the huts, the beautiful trees. Valmiki describes the flora and fauna of that ancient Treta Yuga. He says, he tells about many trees: Bilva, Aswakarna, Arjuna, Patala, Tinduka, so many trees. I don't know the scientific names of those trees, but a very rich vegetation. So when Bharata reached, when he was offered the fruits and honey, he took the fruits, and then he paid his obeisances to Bharadwaja. Bharadwaja blessed him, and he lifted him up, and he recognized that Bharata is the son of Dasaratha because of his appearance, because he looked very similar to Lord Ramachandra. And Bharadwaja already saw Lord Ramachandra. And they also resembled their father in their appearance. The blue lotus in color. Bharata was also with the color of blue lotus. And lotus-like eyes. He was so beautiful. And Bharadwaja recognized him as the son of Dasaratha, the great Ikshvaku. He gave them a seat, and he asked for the reason of his visit to the forest. Then Bharata replied, my dear sage Bharadwaja, I am here to see my brother Rama. Please tell me the whereabouts of Lord Ramachandra. Then Bharadwaja also asked the same question to Bharata, that I hope you are not here to harm your brother Rama. Everybody questioned the integrity of Bharata and doubted, but Bharata was innocent, and he promptly replied to everybody. He never got angry on anybody because they distrusted him. With his innocent face, he was feeling anguish in his heart that why people always think like this in a negative way and blame somebody else. I am with my noble intentions, but he never questioned back, or he never rebuked them for asking so. He promptly replied, my dear sage, you being the learned person you are a godlike person to me, And if you pose such a question to me, my heart can never bear such intense rebuke from a person like you. Please do not talk so. He prayed him like that, and he told, I am here to fetch my brother. He told the same thing that he told to Guha, that I want to fetch my brother, and he is alone. He is the only person fit to rule this kingdom, not me. And he said so. Then Bharadwaja was happy to hear the words from Bharata, and he said, my dear Bharata, even though I am a sage, hermit, living in a humble hermitage here, but I would like to give a befitting hospitality to you and your retinue. Then Bharata replied, have you not given me water? Have you not given me fruits? Isn't that enough for me? I am satisfied. I will go to a place where my brother is residing. Please give me permission. But Bharadwaja pressed and said, no, I want to give you such a hospitality which is befitting to your name and fame. Then Bharata agreed, because an elderly person like Bharadwaja requested. Bharata agreed to it, and he said, so be it. Then Bharadwaja, in his sacrificial altar, which is altar of fire, he invoked the deity Vishwakarma, who is the celestial architect, who is the divine architect of the demigods. Vishwakarma is known for his weapons and crafts that he has built, the divine architect. He invoked Vishwakarma and asked, my dear Vishwakarma, build temporary palaces, cottages, and all that is required, so that I can host my guest Bharata and his retinue. When he said so, Vishwakarma started building immediately then and there. Then he also invoked celestial nymphs such as Gritachi, Nagadanta, Alambusa, Hima, Hema, and many Apsaras. Apsaras are the beautiful celestial nymphs who are like the divine dancers. He invoked all these dancers to come, and he also invoked the singers in the court, in the Satyaloka, Brahmaloka, and he also welcomed them along with their teachers, Tumburu. Tumburu is a musician or a teacher of the celestial nymphs in the divine world. So he also called them. Everybody arrived there, and at that spot, Bharadwaja created a huge level ground which was 20 miles in breadth and length, which was even and which had no rocks or nothing, and which was covered with carpets of lush green and verdant grass. So such a land he created there, and he welcomed all the entire army of Bharata and his retinue to be stationed on that land. And when they all took rest there, he also made rivers of rice thickened with milk, to flow there. And he built a huge palace, and he asked Bharata to go inside and sit in that palace. In that palace, says Bharadwaja, had all these asanas, like huge seats, and also a huge diamond-studded throne which had an umbrella on top of it. A seat for an emperor, kind of a thing. He built that thing, and he asked Bharata to enter into it, because this was a test that Sage Bharadwaja wanted to put Bharata to, and he wanted to see if Bharata passes it or not. Because Bharata thinks that he is a king, he would sit on the throne, but if Bharata considers his brother to be the king, he would not sit on it. So Bharata entered that palace. When all the sages were reciting the Vedic hymns, he went inside, but he did not sit on the throne. He circumambulated the throne as if his brother was sitting on it with reverence. He circumambulated the throne thrice, and then he took a whisk. A whisk is a fan made of the hair of a Himalayan yak animal. He took the whisk and he started to fan that throne as if his brother was sitting on it. And then he sat in the chair and obediently he paid his obeisances to the throne, considering that his brother Ramachandra was sitting on the throne. When Bharadwaja saw this, he was pleased that he knew that Bharata was with noble intentions, and he lifted him and said, "My dear child, your name and fame will spread across time, will transcend the time." So saying, he blessed Bharata Then all the celestial nymphs came and they started to bathe all the citizens of Ayodhya. Like each man was bathed by 7 celestial nymphs, and then they gave them the dantoshtikas, like the toothbrushes. So even in ancient times they had these toothbrushes. It is clearly mentioned. They gave them they are not like the toothbrushes made of plastic and polymer, but they were made of a certain kind of a neem tree stick. Those of you who don't know the neem tree, the scientific name of neem tree is Azadirachta indica, if I am right. Is that so? Yeah. It's very good. It has medicinal values, and that neem stick, even now some of the villages, they use the neem stick to clean the teeth. They chew the front portion of it so that it becomes cushiony, and then they start to brush the teeth. So such kind of dantostikas they gave, and they also gave them so many powders to take bath, which are flavored with many kinds of fruits. Now we get so many kinds of soaps, right? This is apple flavored, that flavored, this flavored. So they had this kind of version even in those ancient times. So they gave all these herbal bathing things to the people, and then they bathed all the citizens of Ayodhya. Then the citizens of Ayodhya thought, let's not go to where Rama is living, let's not go back to Ayodhya, let's just stay here itself and take fun. This is verily heaven, let's be here itself. This is why Bharadwaja hosted this Bharata's camp, because he wanted to show to the world that there is a blame on Lord Ramachandra, that why did not he grant a boon to the citizens of Ayodhya when they asked him to come back. Because here Bharadwaja shows, even though everybody was weeping for Lord Ramachandra, when they got satisfied with the heavenly facilities, they forgot about Ramachandra. But only Rama, Bharata and his father Dasaratha, only these 3 people knew what is righteous thing to do, what is the right thing to do. So that's why Rama did not come back to Ayodhya. So you cannot blame Ramachandra for not granting that boon to the citizens of Ayodhya, of their request, of asking him to come back to Ayodhya. But anyway, so when they all thought, this is a heaven, let's just stay here itself. Let's not go back to Ayodhya. Let's not go back to the place where Rama is. Let's just take pleasure here. But then, as all good things go away, fade away in time, all these nymphs, all the palaces, all these things vanished. And then they went back. And then they had to start again. From the next day morning, Bharata took leave from sage Bharadwaja, and he asked, permit me to go to my brother Rama. Please tell me the whereabouts of Ramachandra. Then sage Bharadwaja told him that 31 yojanas from here, yojana is an ancient measurement of geometry. So they said after 31 yojanas from here, you would see the river Mandakini, which is located on the north of the mountain Chitrakuta. It is an excellent mountain on which Vidyadharas, celestial musicians, they all are stationed. So on this mountain, you see a palm-leafed hut in which your brother is residing right now. This river Mandakini is very auspicious. So when you reach river Mandakini, you will see a bluish-green forest on the other side, and you will see the hermitage of Lord Rama. That is where you can find your brother. Please proceed. So then Bharata took permission, and with all his retinue, he continued towards Chitrakuta. After traveling for a long distance, he saw many kinds of animals, herds of deer, antelopes, elephants, thousands of elephants. Has anyone seen at least 20 elephants that are in one place? Yeah, have you seen? 100? No, yeah. Today we were talking in our home. One of our elders, he was saying that he saw 100 elephants once in his life, and he said that was a magnificent sight. And I had to travel some distance to see them, and it was a magnificent sight. I have never seen 100 such elephants together. Then I realized that, wow, that is true. I have never seen in my life 100 elephants together at one place. I have seen like 20 or 30, but not 100. Then I realized, wow, that scene would have been much grander. Then imagine thousands of elephants staying in one place. In olden days, it used to be like that. There used to be hundreds and thousands of elephants in Indian forests. Not only in Indian forests, but all across the entire globe. So those thousands of elephants, this description, whenever we read this Ramayana, this description, it gives us a grand picture of how that ancient kingdom looked like. So Bharata says, here I see flocks of deer, antelopes and hundreds of elephants with their long trunks. And today we were also discussing the auspicious marks of an elephant. How a Gajaraja is decided, the king of elephants, how is it decided? What are the signs? One such sign is its trunk will be longer than the rest of the elephants, and it will be touching the ground, and it will be curling back one more time. It will have such a long trunk. That elephant is decided as a king of elephants. So he saw so many such elephants there with their fully grown tusks, and they were tearing the trees away. And he saw flocks of antelopes, black deer, they are called the Krishna Jinkas in Telugu. The black antelopes, the black bucks, and the spotted deer, and peacocks, various kinds of birds, ratti, geese, and chakravaka birds. I don't know some of the scientific names for them, so too many to remember. So all these, when Bharata saw, he said to his retinue and his brother Shatrughna, he said, I think this is the place where Rama is living, because I can see the signs. I can see the Mandakini river. I can see at a long distance the bluish green forest. And I think Rama will be stationed here. And he orders some of his army that, please go ahead and search for the hermitage of Rama and come and report to me. And all the soldiers, they divided into several teams, and then they went across the Chitrakuta mountain in search of Lord Rama's palace. And some of them returned back. They did not straight away go into the hermitage of Rama. That was not etiquette according to the ancient custom. So they went, they saw the plume of smoke coming from their hermitage, and they decided, okay, that is where they are living. So let's go and inform back to Bharata. So they went back and informed Bharata that we saw a column of smoke in the forest. We are sure that Rama, Lakshmana and Bharata are staying here. Then they crossed the Mandakini river, and then they went into the forests, and Bharata asked them all of them to station back there, and he said, I will go and meet my brother, and he took his preceptors along with him, and he said, I think this is the place where Rama is living, because you can see the bark garments that are tied onto the trees over here as a navigation device, because when Lakshmana in the dark, he might be misled, so that's why he has tied this bark garments on the trees, so that they will help him for navigation. So Valmiki vividly describes and noted down. So this seems, this tells that this epic was not something written out of just sheer imagination, but it was true. And here I can see some of the fires here and there, so that Lakshmana can be guided in the night time. So looking at those bark garments, taking them as guidance, Bharata slowly proceeded towards where Ramachandra was living. And when he saw the hermitage from a distance, he also saw heaps of dung from deer and buffaloes and some other animals stacked, so that they can use this dung for winter season. So then they can make some dung biscuits and burn them in the fire. So this is how they used to keep them warm in the winter season. So when they saw this dung, then Bharata thought, this is where my brother would be living. And he proceeded towards the hermitage of Lord Ramachandra. When he saw the hermitage, in that he saw Rama sitting with his left leg on his knee, on his right knee. This is how Bharata saw Ramachandra, and he was proceeding. But now let's go back and see what was happening in Rama's hermitage while this was all going on. When this huge army entered the forest, there was a huge clamor, noise, and all the animals started running away in fear when they saw the army. Rama at once recognized that some prince has entered the forest. Then he asked his brother Lakshmana that, my dear Lakshmana, climb up this sal tree, Salavruksha, and tell me what is going on. I hear a noise. I think that some prince might have entered this forest in order to hunt. I see all the animals running away trembling in fear. So please climb this tree and tell me who that prince is and what that army is. And Lakshmana immediately climbed up the sal tree, which consisted of bouquets of flowers. And then when he climbed it, and when he saw the army stationed with thousands of elephants, chariots, and when he saw the flagstaff that had the pomegranate tree of the Ikshvakus, when he saw that symbol, he immediately recognized that it was his Bharata who came there. Then he yelled at his brother Rama that, "My dear brother, please go inside and fetch your dazzling bow and arrows. Bring them here. Hide away Sita. Bring your weapons here. Today I will annihilate this army of Bharata. I will destroy them. The anger of mine that was not given a vent in Ayodhya when you were exiled, that anger of mine that was not given a vent when my father has uttered those harsh words and exiled you to the forest, that anger today I will unleash it on this army of Bharata, and I will kill all of them. Please bring those bow and arrows." When Lakshmana started to address Ramachandra this way, Ramachandra peacefully told Lakshmana that, "My dear Lakshmana, did you ever hear Bharata uttering a harsh word towards you or me or Sita? How can you even imagine that Bharata would harm me, you or Sita? Tell me, is there any time that Bharata behaved in such a way?" Then he also said, "Bharata is a noble man, I know. I think after we have exiled to the forests, when our dear father have invited him from Rajagriha, a city of his maternal uncle, to Ayodhya, and asked him to get coronated as king, I am sure that he might have refused. And now he has come here in search of me to fetch me back to Ayodhya. That is his noble intention. I know, my brother. But if at all you are uttering these words in a desire to acquire the kingdom, then I would ask Bharata to give the kingdom to you, and he would give it to you." And when he said that, Lakshmana was ashamed and he shrank into himself because he spoke in a harsh tone. Rama said this because not to embarrass his brother, because he wanted his brother not to talk harshly, when his other brother Bharata arrives, because Bharata is elder to Lakshmana, and he did not wanted his younger brother to speak harshly, because once a word is uttered, it cannot be taken back. In Tamil there is a saying, "Tenal suttapum ullarum arade navinal suttavadu." That means an injury caused by a burning iron rod, can be healed away with some kind of ointment or anything. But an injury caused by the burning words from your mouth, to the heart, it can never be healed. Similarly, there is a saying in Hindi by Rahim, "Rahimanu daga premuka matutodo jatakai, tute fil na jude judega and padjai." It means if the thread of love, if it is broken once, it can never be fixed. Even if it is fixed, there will be a knot in it. So when you utter something, you cannot take it back. So Rama wanted his brother not to speak harshly towards Bharata. That's why he corrected him, he checked him immediately, saying that if you want kingdom, I will ask Bharata to give it to you, you take it. He spoke so harshly, and then Lakshmana shrank into himself, and then he said, "My dear brother, I think it could be that our father has come here to see you and fetch you." As and when Lakshmana said that, Rama now did not, stick to that embarrassing tone, and then he did not further embarrass his brother. He just stopped and said, "Yes, my dear Lakshmana, you are right. I think our father might have come here to fetch me and Sita. He might not have, he is not able to withstand the separation of you, me and Sita from him. So he would have come." After saying that, he pacified Lakshmana, and he saw Bharata coming towards him. And then Bharata saw Ramachandra sitting in a virasana, which is with his left leg on his right knee, and he was sitting like this outside the hermitage. And Bharata ran and fell and prostrated and paid his obeisances at the feet of Lord Ramachandra and Sita. Then Rama lifted him up. This is a good time to stop. Should we continue next week? We can continue for 5 more minutes. Okay. Yeah, when he fell on the feet of Lord Ramachandra lifted him and he kissed his forehead. That's how elders show affection towards their brothers and children. And then he lifted him and kissed his forehead, and he made him sit on his lap and said, "My dear brother." They were all grown up. Ramachandra was only one day elder to Bharata. He was not 10 years or 20 years elder to Bharata. They were all of the same age, but still, in spite of being one day elder, still the affection was shown in such a way that he, made him to sit on his lap and asked him, "My dear child, why are you dressed like a mendicant?" Bharata also, because his brother was exiled to the forest, Bharata also removed all his royal clothing. He took the garments made of bark, jute cloth. And then he matted his hair. When Guha told him near Ganga river that your brother has matted his hair with latex, Bharata also matted his hair with that resin secreted from the tree. And then that's why Rama is asking, "Why are you dressed like this? What happened to you? Your body is full of dust." And then he started wiping it out and said, "What happened? How come you are here? Where is our dear father? How come our dear father is not here?" Before this, I would like to say one more point. When Rama saw the army, he did not see a white umbrella on the top of the foremost elephant, Shatrunjaya. The name of the elephant was Shatrunjaya, the royal elephant, on which they did not see the umbrella, white umbrella. That means, in olden days, if that white umbrella is not there, that means the king has passed away. The ruling emperor has passed away. That's the significance of it. And when Rama knew it, when he saw that, his mind was in agony, because he was a great lover of his father. He loved his father so much. And he asked Bharata, "Why is it not our father? Why is it that our father has not accompanied you?" Then Bharata replied that, "My dear brother, our father, unable to be separated from you, he has gone to the heavens. Can somebody turn on the light?" He immediately did not tell the news of the death of his father. Then Rama started to inquire, "I hope, because you are a child, somebody did not cheat you and have usurped the kingdom from your hands. I hope that it did not happen. Are you properly taking care of the kingdom?" He asked all the administrative things, checklist that a king has to see. He asked, "Are you taking care of your preceptors and sages and the wise men of your court properly? Are you giving the wages to your servants duly on time or not? Because if you don't give the wages properly on time, then your subordinates will become corrupt, and they would seek other means to gain their salaries. So are you properly distributing the salaries to your servants? Are you keeping an eye on all the departments of your kingdom, such as treasury, the main gatekeeper of the boundaries of your kingdom, and also your chief minister, your ministers, your royal priest?" And he asked several questions like that. "Are you taking care of the 18 necessary things that you need to consider while ruling a kingdom?" The 18 things are, they say, you have to have 3 spies on each department, and the departments are enlisted. They are chief minister, the crowned prince, the royal priest, the minister, the commander-in-chief, the royal treasurer, the exchequer, and the one who takes the money from the exchequer and gives it to the army, as wages. Even that person need to be spied upon, and several other departments. 15 departments, of course. The one who guards the royal gate of the palace, the one who guards the Chamberlain, which is the Antahpura Kakshas, which is the palaces of the queens. He has to keep an eye on them as well. Like that, there are several other departments, 18 departments of the enemy, not your own kingdom. You keep an eye, 3 spies for all these departments belonging to the enemy kings, not your own kingdom. When it comes to your own kingdom, you would exclude the crowned prince, the royal priest, and the chief minister. Except these 3 departments, the other 15 departments you would still spy on them, within your own kingdom. This was the administrative protocol in ancient kingdoms. So Rama asked all these questions. Are you keeping 3 spies for each of these departments or not? Are you conducting sacrificial ceremonies duly on time or not? Are you taking consultation from wise men or not? I hope you are not taking consultation from too many men. I hope your consultation is limited to a few men. He says, do not consult no people, or do not consult too many people. Consult, that number of people that is required. So, to give as an anecdote, when I told the same Paduka Pattabhishekam last year, one of our devotees have attended this, and then he took this point seriously. We were in a friend's house, and they were all arguing which movie they wanted to watch that time in the TV. And children said, put that movie, and some elder said, no, put that movie, and somebody said, no, this movie. Then that devotee brought up this point that, Prabhuji, do you remember last time in Paduka Pattabhishekam you have said, do not consult too many people, make your consultation restricted to very few. Like that, we should not consult too many, because that decision will go nowhere, because all these people have different ideas. So Rama is asking, are you consulting only a limited number of wise men? I am hopeful that you are amidst of wise men as opposed to being amidst of 1,000 fools. Are you? He asked. It's no use, right? Standing in the midst of 1,000 fools, it's no use. Instead of it, you have to be next to one wise man. That's when you learn something. So Rama is asking all these questions to his brother. I hope you are not amidst of 1,000 fools. And also, are you taking care of the 10 things that you should be aware of? The 10 evils that a king should be aware of, that laziness, lethargic, not being well versed in shastras, like scriptural knowledge, or the administrative sciences, and the science of in the science of the canon of missiles and things like that, and also several other judicial laws. I hope you are well versed in all those things and constantly remembering all such things. And he also said, I hope in your kingdom the doctors who aggravate the problem of the patients and make their injuries even bigger, such doctors are punished properly or not. Today in modern world we see some of the research, they try to do so many new things, but in the end they have so many side effects and things like that, which cause more ill health than you can expect, right? So such things have to be avoided. Such doctors, are they punished or not? So Rama is asking all these questions. And when he asked all these questions to Bharata, then Bharata replied, my dear brother, why are you asking me all these questions? I am not fit to rule the kingdom. Just like a sparrow or a falcon or a small bird cannot imitate the might and speed of an eagle, similarly I cannot imitate you. You are the only one who can rule this kingdom. Just like a donkey that cannot imitate the swiftness of a horse, I cannot imitate your glory. You are the one who is fit to rule this kingdom. I am not. So please come back and rule this kingdom. When Bharata said this, all his retinue and his kinsmen, they said, excellent Bharata, excellent. And they all rejoiced when they looked at the nobility of Bharata. We will continue in our next week the glory of